What is up, Obscure Tech folks? It's Bark coming at you with another Obscure Tech video. And I'm pretty excited about this one because if you, obviously you've seen the thumbnail, so you know what I'm doing. But iPads are expensive. And in my opinion, the regular iPad, the 10th gen, I hate that thing. Plasticky screen. It just feels off. It doesn't feel premium. Now, the iPad Pros, the Apple Silicon Edition iPad Pros, and the ones before that for that matter, premium, very good. You can edit video. You can do pretty much anything you want, but they're freaking expensive. And I am an Android guy. I've had iPad Pros, and I really, really enjoy them. I really do. I don't like to carry an iPhone because I like to have more freedom with my daily carry. But if I just want to do specific things like edit video, really just edit video, iPad Pros are fantastic. But I have a really hard time as an obscure kind of guy holding on to tech that costs that much. It's tough unless it is a laptop or a desktop, which is why I have a Mac Mini M2 and a MacBook Air M2, just for that seamless, they're my editing / recording / creative machines. I think that those Apple devices, including the iPad, are great creative machines. But for when I want to log into my favorite apps, browse the internet, do some light audio editing, I really like Android overall. I wish Android was better at the things that the iPad and the Apple products are good at. Again, editing video. But at the same time, I also want my Android tablet to just simply be good. Now, you've got the Samsung S9, S8, that whole family of great tablets, super fast, super reliable. They're expensive too. They're like as much, if not more, than the iPad Pros. So the only thing you can really edit with is a bunch of weird apps and LumaFusion, which is now out for Android, which has been a bit of a revelation for me. If I had maybe a foldable is what I need to edit video on. Maybe a foldable is what I really need, but I just can't imagine carrying that thing in my pocket. Anyways, I digress. I'm a mid-ranger guy using a OnePlus Nord CE3. Really like this phone so far. I've only had it for a few days. But the whole reason for today's review, which I've been really procrastinating, is the ALLDOCUBE tablet here. This is the ALLDOCUBE iPlay 50 Mini, I believe is what it's called. I'm not overly concerned with getting the name of that right because it's just kind of strange. There's still a lot of words. The iPlay 50 Mini, I believe, is correct. If it's not, whatever, but anyways, basically $150 on Amazon. Now, I did a lot of research before settling on this as a review unit, and I come to find that I'm pretty sure that this tablet frame and probably screen and probably more is available in a few options. So you got the ALLDOCUBE option, and I think you can do the iPlay Mini and the iPlay Pro Mini, which I've got the Pro Mini. The Doogee T20 Mini, I believe, is the same aluminum frame, and I'll explain why in a few minutes. And there's also one that looks to be the same aluminum frame, like casing, the same tablet casing, with some kind of wolf name. Wolfenstein, Wolf Mother, Teen Wolf, something like that. I can't remember. Wolf Harbor and Freight. I don't remember. A lot of these tablets perform pretty well. I was almost locked in on the Doogee T20 Mini until I just dove a little deeper. That thing's like $135 on Amazon right now, and at $150, you get that extra thing that's needed with this tablet. So let's unbox it. All right, so ALLDOCUBE. Kind of a cool name. Reminds me of the Tesseract from Marvel. Like, oh no, Loki's got the ALLDOCUBE. Get it from him before he goes to Aldi and spends all his money on German groceries. Okay, so inside, which I've been using this, there's no secret there. Inside, we've got the tablet. I'll show you that more in just a minute, but I know you guys really give, three shits about the rest of it, which is some documentation. And in this little thing, which I don't think I've even done anything with, or maybe I have because it feels kind of light. You do get a charging block and an A to C USB cord, which I will surely use for something at some point. A little charging brick, nothing fancy. Actually, the charging brick, black, cord white. Maybe that's just mine. I don't know, but whatever. It's fine. Cool thing about this tablet is it comes with a screen protector on. It is of the shitty variety. It's already showing like tons of like hairline scratches and such. But I did order a tempered glass screen protector for this thing. Look at that, my studio light reflecting right in there. But anyways, okay. So it is an aluminum frame, and it does feel pretty nice. It's got a single camera up here, and these plastic bottom and top frame pieces, which is for the purposes of it being 4G LTE compatible. Now, this right here, this headphone jack, which is oddly in the corner, which I kind of like. I kind of like that it's in the corner right there because I can hold it like this and have my headphones coming out this way, or I can hold it down and have my headphones coming out the corner of the bottom. I kind of like that it's not like oddly here or oddly there or there or there. Kind of dig that, actually. I kind of like the placement of the headphone jack, and a headphone jack is a cool thing. Aluminum frame, 4G LTE. You can also stick a micro SD card in there with the 4G LTE SIM. Let's power it on. Okay, ALLDOCUBE by Android. I was very hesitant here because, it is still scary to buy something that's not super brand name. You just don't expect a whole lot. While this is booting up, the size, 8.4 inches. This is the reason I bought this tablet. I think 10-inch tablets and 11-inch tablets are just kind of too big. Too big for me. You might as well use a laptop if you're going to go that big. $90 on Amazon. You can get this exact tablet, shape, size, form factor, with a 64 gig storage. I almost said hard drive, with 64 gigs of storage and 12 gigs of RAM. But I believe that was something crazy like 6 gigabytes of RAM and 6 gigabytes of virtual RAM, which virtual RAM, not the best thing ever. But you could go for the Pro, which is this, 16 gigs of RAM on this, 8 gigs of physical, 8 gigs of virtual, 256 gigs of storage, expandable. You got the Helio G99 8-core CPU. It's a full 1080p display, and that was the selling point. The 8 gigs of physical RAM was the selling point for me, and the 256 gigs of storage also a selling point. So virtual memory basically takes 8 gigs of your hard drive space, converts it into a virtual memory, so more memory for apps that are open and processes that you're running, but it's hard on your storage, so your storage may not last. You may have problems if you leave that VRAM on all the time. In an 8.4 holdable by one hand device, that was the selling point, because of all the tablets I've ever owned, Samsung A9 tablet, I think, was the one I had recently. Slow, crappy, screen looked like shit. Just terrible. I had a Lenovo M10 HD, 2 gigs of RAM, like 32 gigs of storage. It's not a very old tablet. Tablets just skimp out on storage and RAM and all that stuff. They think that you just want to browse the web with these things, but I'm telling you now, people that love Android want a powerful Android tablet that doesn't cost over $1,000. They want something, not everyone, but a lot of people like me want something you can hold with one hand. This is perfect to me for media consumption, for internet purposes, and I would love to sit and edit on something this size. Would love that. So I bought this to see if it could be done. You're not going to be able to tell in my crappy second cam setup, but the screen on this thing is really, really solid. In my opinion, it is very crisp and detailed, and the color reproduction is pretty good for a $150 Android tablet. I just think it looks really, really good out of the box. Apps are pretty snappy. Everything seems to work pretty well. You're not getting any kind of like crazy good refresh rate or anything like that, but it works well. And you can swipe over to the left, get all your Google News and all that good stuff. You got your app drawer. And again, like that works really well. I really haven't seen any spots where this thing slows down. And we're running Android 13 out of the box as well. Battery life, I've charged this one time and I've used it a lot and I still have 64%. You've got all the bells and whistles. It very much feels like a big phone, and it can be actually, because on the home screen, you've got the phone app and the Messenger app pre-installed when you get this tablet. So it does great with stuff like that. So you can also, fire up your favorite movies and TV shows, and it works really well with that. Loading times are just solid. Nothing spectacular. You got to remember, you're getting this pretty darn cheap. So let me just make this pretty quick and simple. This thing has beat, hands down, every mid-range and low-end Samsung tablet that I have had. It's wiped the floor with the mid-range and low-grade Lenovo's and on-brand. Basically, if you can find a tablet at Walmart or Best Buy that is $300 or less, there's a good chance that this little sucker from ALLDOCUBE is going to outperform it. I'm going to go ahead and set some VRAM here. We're going to go ahead and go into the settings, and you've got all your typical app notifications, battery storage, all that good stuff. As you can see here, I got 214 gigs free. Haven't even thrown an SD card in there. This is awesome to get. I often find good deals on iPad Pros, but they're like 64 or 128 gigs, and that's just not enough. Memory expansion right here. You toggle that on. You can choose 8 gigs, 4 gigs, 2 gigs. Like, you can change that. So I'm going to go the full 8 gigs. It says you must restart the phone. See where it says phone? That's kind of fun. It says you must restart the phone for it to take effect. So we're going to restart. And just for the sake of knowing, no facial recognition or fingerprint sensor here. We're talking about $130 tablet. But let's go ahead and load up some LumaFusion here. And we'll create a project. Now, don't get me wrong. Like, this is going to be good for light editing, which my videos pretty much are light editing. I'm not a crazy, heavy, intensive editor. I'm not Marcus Brownlee or Mr. Who's the Boss or anything like that. Not even close to anything like that. But this for light editing just really works really, really well. So if you want an example, which I did have a few hiccups, but I did my last Obscure Mics video, which is the OnStage AS800. I did that whole video on this ALLDOCUBE tablet. Edited the whole thing with this. Good to go. And it was just super impressive to me. Now, when I talk about the 16 gigs of RAM coming into play is video editing. So the experience I have found is smoother for sure with that VRAM turned on when editing videos, rather than having just the 8 gigs, which got a little choppy sometimes during editing. More so, the voice wasn't perfectly aligned with my mouth in rendering, or while editing. As soon as I added that the 8 gigs of VRAM, it greatly improved and my editing experience was much better. So literally, if you make simple videos with 1 or 2 camera angles, little bit of overlay stuff here and there, not heavy on the, effects or anything like that, this is going to get the job done for you. But seriously, I don't know if you can tell or not, but this screen is just so adequate. It's so nice. Seriously, just very smooth on Asphalt 9. And Genshin Impact is playable here. Granted, you're not going to get the highest settings, ratings, all that good stuff. Frame rates is what I should have said there, but it is actually playable and runs pretty decent. No real crazy lag. I haven't really gotten to a place where there's a lot of characters to fight, but I mean, pretty good. And that is impressive. For $130, this is a highly impressive little throw in your bag and carry around. From the build quality, guess I could turn that down. The build quality, the screen, the size, the RAM, the storage, expandability, the fact that you can use it as a phone. USB-C port, by the way, at the top where the camera is at, basically. So when you're holding like this and charging, like you're not going to bend a bunch of cords with that bottom USB-C hookup. Another thing I like. Camera performance, decent. Nothing special, but it's functional if you need to use it for something. Video as well. Selfie video right here. The camera performance is decent, nothing special, but it's functional if you need to use it for something. All in all, man, this is probably something that I would value around a $300 tablet, honestly. I think it's that good, and I think it can be that good. Again, just the specs and everything you get for the price, I highly, highly, highly recommend it, especially if you're like me and you like to be able to use a smaller tablet. The form factor is literally perfect in my opinion for gaming, editing, browsing. It's this thing is a keeper 100%. And again, I've used a ton of tablets. I wouldn't dare come on this channel with a tablet that I've used in the past when there's this. It's a high recommend from me. Link in the description if you want to buy it. Again, great screen, headphone jack, phone usability, gaming, light editing. It's just kind of a do-it-all tablet. Again, it's not a powerhouse. That's not what you're getting here, but you're getting something that works and works really well for pretty much anything you want to do unless you're a power user. This is a step above just your basic tablet. This is definitely a mid-range tablet with mid-range capabilities with a great build quality and no bloatware really to speak of. Just nice and clean Android 13. Just a banger of a tablet. So, ALLDOCUBE, excellent job on the iPlay 50 Mini. If they come out with a more powerful version of this, I'll buy that too. It's that good. ALLDOCUBE iPlay Mini 50 is out of here. Bark's out of here. See you guys next time on Obscure Tech. Peace out.